and that's how your recording is going to start. You're welcome.
And I'm just going to start this up. All right. So I know most of you, all of you. My name is Glenn. Today we're going to be talking about Delivery Plus and how you can get it to work for you. If during the presentation I'm talking too fast, you're going to understand what I'm saying, or I start talking Latin for no apparent reason, or like you just have a question, like interrupt me, ask a question.
The exorcism gear is prepared. Don't worry about it.
So, all right. So I'm going to cover today. So when you're trying to find something in the UB Libraries catalog, we're going to start with checking the catalog. We're going to look on WorldCat, which is a database. It's a big, massive online library catalog. We are going to practice submitting an interlibrary loan Delivery Plus request, and then we're also going to be submitting a Delivery Plus request through the catalog. So, for my example, that I'm going to have like slides up on the projector, just sort of going through like an example, and then so you guys can kind of like, as me from 3 days ago is doing this, you guys can practice doing it yourself. So my example is, let's say I'm doing a paper on sort of historical and cultural depictions of witches. So I think, oh, there was a season of American Horror Story about witches. So I want the DVD set of American Horror Story Coven, so I can look at the director's commentaries and interviews with creators and kind of see what they were thinking about when they were setting up the show. I think that'll be something interesting for my paper. So start by going to library.buffalo.edu. That's the library's homepage. All right, so first thing I did was I went to the catalog. So you'll see a number of tabs when you're at the library homepage. Click on catalog. And so I searched for American Horror Story, and then I also used filters on the side. You can sort of filter your results. So I filtered because I wanted the DVD, and as you see, only one result came. It's not what I wanted. So I'm like, well, so UB doesn't have the material that I want, so I'm going to see if I can get it from another library. So I couldn't find what I wanted in the UB catalog, so I'm going to request it through interlibrary button. So to do that, we're going to go to WorldCat. So what is WorldCat? WorldCat is a library catalog. It contains over 200 million records from over 20,000 libraries worldwide. So these are records that libraries use for bibliographic data in their own catalog. So rather than if you get a new item in, they don't have to make up like all that information that you see in our library's catalog. They don't have to just like do that for every single book and piece of media that comes in. They can get it from WorldCat. So it's like crowd sourcing. So it gives users, so when you check WorldCat, you can see how many libraries have that record in their catalog. So how many libraries have that item, which is helpful because if we check WorldCat and only like one library has it, it's probably going to be hard for us to get it. But if a bunch of libraries have it, then it'll be easier for our interlibrary loan department to track a copy down. You can search for books, audiovisual materials, internet sources, music scores, archival materials, computer files, and maps. You won't be able to find specific journal articles or like newspaper stories or book chapters. So for those sort of things, you'd want to check the e-journals or the databases through the library homepage. But if you're strictly looking for a journal article or a book chapter, you're not going to find it. And just specifically when we are talking about audiovisual materials, it's basically CDs and DVDs that you're going to be able to get. So they're not going to ship like an LP through the mail, and they're not going to, a lot of record.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Millennials. Yeah, so books, CDs, DVDs are basically sort of the big ones that you're looking for. So, yes?
Like if I wanted to borrow a music score, would that like be totally for freebies? Like
Yes, it's interlibrary loan is free. If you can find a library, if you find a library that has it, and you can find the right one, because music scores obviously have a lot of variations and what you're looking for. But yeah, music score is just like a regular book. If you don't have it here, you can get it through interlibrary loan. So the way you get stuff through interlibrary loan is you submit. There's a form online that you'll fill out. In order to guarantee that you get the exact item you're looking for, like for a music score, obviously there's a lot of, like if you're looking for Don Giovanni, there's a lot of different ways that you could get Don Giovanni. Like, do you want the whole opera? Do you want just, a piano vocal reduction? So there's all sorts of ways of getting some of these materials. So the best way to do that is, like I said, we're on WoogleCat, and we're going to find as much information as we can on that item so that when interlibrary loan gets the request, they know exactly what they're looking for. All right, so the best way to get to WorldCat is go to the databases tab and then search on database by keyword, just type in WorldCat. Right. And so this will come up. If you want to bookmark WorldCat, if you click on the more info link, that is that's a static page for WorldCat. Whereas what this is a results page. So this could possibly change over time. Whereas if you just, you click more info and then bookmark to that page, that is your permanent link to WorldCat from our system. Or you can bookmark the WorldCat page itself too. All right, so clicking on WorldCat takes us to this page. All right, so what I'm going to do is I have the title, so I'm just going to search for American Horror Story. If you have a book that you could type in the author's name. So author also includes composer if you're interested in like a music score, or the artists. So like I could search for Ryan Murphy, it would also give me, or Jessica Lange would also go in the author field. But I'm just going to search for American Horror Story. So these are my results. I notice I also used the filter, so I clicked on visual because I know it's a visual piece of media that I want. So I did that to filter the results. And then, so right here, American Horror Story Coven, third season, DVD, so that's the one that I want. So yeah, as we're going along, if there's like something that you want, like feel free to like just follow what I'm doing, but like replace what I'm doing with your searches. All right, so clicking on that link will give me sort of a big a page with a lot of information. So a lot of information is taken right from the DVD box set. So the plot summary. So double checking. For video discs. If sometimes when you search for things, especially like Don Giovanni, you may have missed when you're looking through your search results. We may have it and it didn't come up in the search, or you didn't see it while you were doing the search. So you can always double check. There will be a button that comes up if UB does have that item, and then you can just click on it from there, and that'll take you right back to the UB catalog. Or you can, if you click here, you can double check. Click here for items in UB. So there's a couple pieces of information that I'm going to want. I'm going to take the the distributor. I'm going to take the title. I'm going to just copy and paste the title right from the title field. And I'm going to take the top listed author. So I'm just going to grab Ryan Murphy. And then I'm also going to grab the OCLC accession number, which is so each entry on WorldCat has its own unique number. So I'm going to grab this number so that when ILL, gets the request, if they have this number, they can just use that number to bring this up right up. So I'm going to make sure to take note of that. All right, so I have the information that I need to make sure that when I submit my request, they're going to grab just the specific item that I want. So now with the WorldCat screen open, and I think when you open WorldCat, it opens in a new browser, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so keep that WorldCat screen open, and we're going to copy the information into a interlibrary loan request. So to get to that, back on when you're at the library's homepage, if you go to My Account and have all of you set up your account for Delivery Plus, the very first time you logged on, very third time you click on My Account, it'll ask you to log on, just like you're logging on with your UBIT name and password.
Does it let you sign in?
Yeah,
It's letting me sign in for some reason.
it doesn't like you.
Yeah, so once you sign in, the first time you go into Delivery Plus, it'll ask you your preferences. So it'll ask you for your address, your phone number. You only have to set this up once. One of the last things it will ask you is what library you want to pick up your items at. That's mostly used for interlibrary loan. Interlibrary loan will always go to that location once you pick it. If you request an item through Delivery Plus through the catalog, it'll give you an option of where you want it to be sent. So whatever you pick when you first set that up is what it's going to do for interlibrary loan, but for everything else, you'll be able to pick it yourself. Alright, so I logged on. Next, go to Delivery Plus requests. And then we're going to submit a request. And for me, since what I'm picking is an audiovisual piece of media, I'm going to select that. You can also select a book through here. And you can also select things like a journal title, book chapter, or conference paper. That information will be sent to you, it'll be scanned, and sent to you through email. So you can request these items, it's just that you're not going to find these specific things in WorldCat, because WorldCat doesn't break down bibliographic information as far as down to that level. So I did audiovisual. So this is the form. So anything with an asterisk is something that you have to fill out. So requested format, I chose DVD. I put Ryan Murphy in for author or editors. Put in the title. I also grab the publisher, place of publication United States, and then at the bottom you'll see I put in the OCLC number. Right, and then further down on the page, it'll have the not wanted after date filled in for you. So if you're doing this for a project, and the project, obviously won't last past the semester, like you're not going to need it past into June. If it's something for school, if it's something for like recreational use, you might want to put that back a little bit too. Generally, what I found is that it takes interlibrary loan about a week or two to get stuff, depending on how fast stuff goes. So if it's something that you need to have like this semester, putting those type of requests in as soon as possible is more helpful than not. If it's something like a thesis where you're working on it over multiple semesters, that you have a little bit more lead time for that. Then it'll ask you if you will accept the item in a language other than English, if you will accept an alternate edition of the item, any information that might help us find the item. So if it's, in this case, it was pretty straightforward to find. But again, if you, for multiple versions of the score, or if it's, you know, another type of media that has come out in multiple formats, you know, putting that information in would be helpful too. And then finally, I'll ask you, we learned about this item. I always type in WorldCat, just so they know that, you know, students are using that, that database, and that that's a useful thing for us to have. And then you can send the request. All right, question?
Can you make the item acceptable in like a crap ton of different languages? Because I know for like scores and stuff, they usually come in like Italian or French or a bunch of other random stuff, and you're not sure what you're expecting. So like I wouldn't want to get my request denied because they were like, oh, well you wanted it in English, and none of these are in English.
That last field gives you an option for like anything else that we could use to help find your item. I believe that, yeah, there's an option for, do you want this, like, is this acceptable in another language? You can pick yes, and at the bottom you can say, I can use it in English, Italian, or German. Like, let's say you speak those languages because you're a music major. But if it's in, you know, French, or if it's in, it's in French, I don't speak French, so it's not going to be as useful, so, like, any language but French.
Can I just put, like, any language, though? Because, like, honestly, like, most of the scores, like, there's not any specific words where it's, like, a bit of Googling won't help, because most of it's just, like, a few specific little, like, annotations where it's like, I just need to Google that one phrase, and then the rest of it's music, so it all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, you can put that in. You can say, you know,
So
any
you
language.
Just say, like,
any language, you know, if there's a particular, like, edition that you need, because, like, sometimes it's more important, like, what year was published as opposed to, like, what language it's in. Yeah. So make sure that whatever identifying information you need to help them find the right item.
Yeah.
All right, so now the last part is, so what if, you know, we're looking for an item and they do have it in the catalog? You know, what can Delivery Plus help then? And the answer is yes. So what if I have the item I want, but I don't have time to go to the library, or it's at the Health Sciences Library, which is on South Campus, and I'm always on North Campus, or vice versa. You know, if you're on South Campus all the time, it might be easier to have all your stuff sent there. So Delivery Plus can also get you items from any of our libraries to any other of our libraries and put them on hold for you. So, you know, I'm still doing my project on witches. So I'm going to go to the catalog. I'm going to type in witches. And at this point, you know, I just need one more source. So I'm just going to grab whatever I see. So in this case, okay, first thing I see is witches, true story, True Tale of Disaster in Salem. It's in the juvenile collection at Lockwood. But, you know, I'm always on South Campus, so I don't have time to come to Lockwood to grab that. All right, so I see that it's available. So I'm going to click on the book. So this is the catalog record for the book. If you go down to the bottom, you see item available, and then Delivery Plus book request. So Delivery Plus, you can, you know, since it's a book, you can also just request a chapter if you want it. Like if it's a more, like a more scholarly book, and you just need one chapter, or if it's a book of essays. The chapters will be, if you want a chapter, or also journal entries. They'll be delivered electronically to your Delivery Plus accounts. And alright, and so for me, I want the whole book, so I'm gonna click on Request Book. Alright, it'll next take you to the check availability screen. If you click on, so then you Delivery Plus request, so then it's going to pop up with this screen. It's going to ask you, if you have a drop-down menu of pickup locations, which are the whichever library you want to go to, and then period of interest again. So you know, I don't really care about having this book past the end of the semester, so I'll put, you know, June 2015. All right, then it'll just sum up what you requested, and you can hit submit request. Right, so Delivery Plus is a convenient way to get library materials, both from UV's collection and through interlibrary loan. Going on WorldCat is a great way to make sure that you're getting exactly the item that you want, that other libraries carry it, that such a thing exists. There are times where people have requested items that just don't exist, like the score to a musical that they never released the full score to. You can request books, CDs, DVDs through interlibrary loan. You can also request journal articles or book chapters, and those will be scanned for you. Delivery Plus, if you're using Delivery Plus for within the UV library system, you can have books and scores sent. You can't have audiovisual materials sent. So those you'll actually have to go pick up yourself, unfortunately. So if you want a DVD or a CD, like that's at the music library, for instance, you have to go to the music library to pick it up, unfortunately. All right, so any questions?
Do you have to be on UV's campus, like UV's internet server, to use WorldCat?
You have to be signed in. You have to be signed into your account,
Okay.
and then go to it through there. Like if you have it bookmarked on your computer, and you're like just going right to the WorldCat site from that bookmark, that doesn't work. You have to sign into the UV library's your account there,
Okay.
and then just follow the link from, so that they know, so that they see that it's coming from us, from UV.
So just to like reiterate, let's say I wanted to get like a movie that they didn't have here,
Mhm.
and it's like it's the Triumph, it's the Triumph of the Will. It's like the
Yeah.
Nazi movie. Okay.
Is that what you were laughing about?
You looked okay.
Oh,
For some reason, I
Okay, I was
searched John
terrified that, like,
Waters.
I had done something.
No. I was searching John Waters and like, for some reason, like Lenny Riefenstahl came up, and then I like clicked. I was like, oh, I never seen this movie, so let me like search it. And so I tried
Birth
to.
of the Nation too.
What?
You want to get Birth of the Nation too? Which I think we have.
That's too far. No.
I wouldn't be surprised if we actually had.
I've seen it. I watched it in my film class in middle school. I know it's bizarre. I don't know why we ever watched that. But so let's say I wanted to get this movie, and they have it in like LA right now. That's where it came up.
Mhm.
I couldn't get it, right? Like they can't.
And have it in where?
It was like from LA. That was like the only place that came up.
Right. Yeah. If it's, yeah, it would be. You have to go pick it up there.
Well,
Okay.
and how often, or like how long can you keep these materials?
Stuff through interlibrary loan it'll be arranged with the lending institution.
Okay.
So you won't have as much from basically anything else that you get through UV. You can renew your items online.
Mm-hmm.
With those specific materials, if you wanted to renew that, it'll have whatever dates. There'll be a sticker that's on the item, and that'll tell you what date it's due, and that's worked out between the interlibrary loan department and the loaning institution.
Okay.
So unfortunately, there's not as much leeway. Like you can't just keep renewing it indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
No.
All right. I just have a quick 5-question quiz, just to.
No.
So while I was talking, did anybody actually request anything?
I was going to request Triumph of the Will. And then I
All right. So.
I was considering it, but I don't know what I want or what edition, so it's like, wow, I have this huge resource, I have no idea what I want.
Yeah.
Send all of it.
Yeah, like when we've had like people request like we had some like a lot of Frank Zappa. People requested like a lot of Frank Zappa scores.
Oh.
I've had at least a couple that have gone to the music library. So
I bet it was what's his face? Jared. Me and Jared were talking about things
So I basically like searched some of the like famous flute composers, and I was like, wow, there's so much shit up here that's not in English,
Oh,
and I
what you
know
want-
what
what
you
you
are
want to do?
requesting.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna look it up first
And
later.
it's not related to Delivery Plus, but like you mentioned that you can use, if you just go through the UB Library website, you can sign in and then get like use the database and everything. Does that work for journal articles too? Not necessarily to have them delivered or anything, but it was my understanding that you had to be on the UB web server in order to look at all the journal articles.
It depends on the database. Some
Okay.
databases are accessible. Again, so it depends on what like the database's owner
Okay.
has contracted with us
Mhm.
to have. Some of them you can. Some of them you like if you can be logged in anywhere as long as you're logged into your UBIT, you can check anywhere.
Right.
Some of them you like literally have to be in the library using like a special computer to look at. So it depends. It'll tell you. Like when I searched for WorldCat and they had that more info link.
Mhm.
If you look at the more info link for any one of those databases, it'll tell you like what the specific requirements for accessing are.
And if we were to contact the person, I know like each major has like a designated librarian, right?
Yes.
If we were to contact that person and just be like, I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I just want an interesting paper in that subject, would they have like?
Yep. Actually, let me do a quick.
The librarians here are so helpful.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about census data. Like, I could not read the census data and then took it to the census librarian. And he legitimately sat down with me. It didn't stick at all, by the way. But he sat down with me and, like, went through all the data, and it was so helpful.
If you go to
I used to want to be in a library when I was little because they're so nice, so helpful. They just want to do their jobs.
If you go to
They're also really nice because no one ever goes there. So they're
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
happy when you go there.
It's just like, oh god,
Yeah.
human contact.
I feel bad for the nuclear medicine person. There's like 10 of us, and we never use them ever.
on the find library materials. If you go to the bottom, it has resources by subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So like for medicine, it'll tell you like what the best databases are.
Okay. Is there nuclear medicine specifically?
I would not know that, but you know who would know is Nell Argonoff.
Okay.
She is a subject librarian for medicine.
Because
And
that's most likely graduate medicine, right? Like the graduate school, or like the medical school information, which is
it's
slightly different.
just medicine. What she will do is she, like when the subject librarians sort of act as liaisons with the departments that use it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's probably a liaison with both any undergraduate or graduate departments that deal with medicine. That they would be in communication with her, and then she would.
She looks friendly.
Yep. This is also where you can get course reserve information too. Get help.
So you could like reserve a textbook for a course. Sorry.
Yeah,
You could like
reserve a textbook
for a course or something.
It depends. We don't have a lot of textbooks in.
Yeah, they're all in Cape.
Yeah, like in the libraries, and if there's if there is a textbook for a class, it's generally already going to be on reserve. Like professors will go to the
Yeah.
librarians and give them with a list like these are the books that I need on reserve.
And then you could only take them out for like 2 hours at a time. But it's actually
Unless
really
you
good.
yeah, you only take them for hours at a time unless you're taking them out. If they're 2-hour overnights, you can if you come in when it's less than 2 hours till closing, you have them until the next time they're open.
That's
So
really
for
cool.
the music,
That's a great thing to know.
so for the it depends on
But it's the 24-hour
the default
library.
the default is right, yeah, so like
But
24-hour
Cape isn't
library.
open 24 hours right now. That's a great thing to know.
So if the music library, if it's like anytime after 3 on Friday, you can have it until 1 p.m. on Sunday
Oh, whoa.
That is great.
because it's not open on Saturday.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's just go over the quiz real quick. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna have you like just go down and like read the question and then read the answers and read what you chose. I'll start with Bridget.
What kinds of materials can be requested through interlibrary loan? A. Books. B. Music scores. C. DVDs. D. CDs. E. All of the above. I chose E.
That is correct.
I was paying attention.
Number 2.
What is the best way to make sure ILL gets the exact item you were looking for? A. Fill in every field, even if you don't know all of the correct information. B. Use WorldCat to find some important pieces of information such as OC/LC number. Submit the form multiple times with slight changes each time. D. Witchcraft. D. No. D. Use WorldCat to find some important
Yes.
pieces of information.
3. What is the best way to find WorldCat? A. WorldCat.com. B. Under the Databases tab on the UB Library's homepage. Miss Robichaud's Academy. And D. By learning the UB catalog, or by searching the UB catalog for WorldCat. I put B.
Yes. If you search the catalog for WorldCat, you will find it. It'll be available as like electronic resource. It's just easier, I think, to just search the databases.
4. Where can you pick up the Food Plus items in physical form? A. Your dorm. B. New Orleans. C. The Student Union. D. At any UB libraries. D. No, I'm kidding. D. At any of the UB libraries.
Yes. And 5. How will you receive your requested journal articles or book chapters? A. Your email. B. UPS. C. Through Dreams. D. Downloaded directly into your brain.
That'd be so cool.
That would be ours.
Why aren't we
Can
funding
you imagine?
that?
Textbook in your brain.
I'm not.
I can't wait till I have like.
I'm not a
classes and
neurologist,
just do
for all I
that.
know we are.
You're doing science. Why aren't we funding this?
We're
Yeah.
not, because of Congress.
Come on, Andrew.
All right. So, anybody have any questions before we wrap up?
No.
All right. Thank you. Been a good
Good job,
audience.
buddy.
Yay!
Oh.
Shut that down.
Shut it
What are you
down.
getting Triumph of the Will? Like, what are you planning on hoping to learn from that?
No, I don't know. I'm just like I've never like